like a little sporadic. So
I mean, they're counting on a lot of shooting out of Patrick Williams and Zach LaVine.
Yeah, but you can't discount Vucevic, how good he is, like as a trail five. I mean, that guy's like 50% at the top of the key from 3-point line. I'm pulling that number out of my rear end. But
he shot 40% last year.
Yeah, wow. He's a really good 3-point shooter, and especially when he's like, if you give him a shot, I like a coin flip if I'm giving him a shot at the top of the key.
So they're just gonna like invert things, or like just absolutely spread everything and just give those two guards one-on-one opportunity.
Yeah, and he can also just play the paint by himself. He's gonna have room to roam. I mean, Vucevic, another guy on my fantasy team. I think he has a big year. I mean, he's in a prime position.
A big thing for that team will be how DeRozan leads. Like if he play and he doesn't like try and involve himself too much and like I need offense run through me. I need to have some plays or something. It's like do the little things and lead and everything like that on the back end of your career, like an Iguodala.
Agreed.
All right, so I think I like this 6. I don't have any real qualms with yours. You have a little qualm with my Knicks. I think that Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle.
You're just giving too much credit to these Mitchell Robinson guys. These, excuse me for turning my back to the podcast. I need to spit into something. Yeah, I mean, Mitchell Robinson overrated. Nerlens Noel, I saw that guy play for a while. I've watched him everywhere he's gone. I mean, that guy is. I mean, we know he plays at one end of the court and one end only. He is offensively. He is. Can we say?
No, you can't. Not to that. Not
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Too early for that. He is. We'll cut that part out. Nerlens Noel is offensively inept.
You might have to bathe in that. Maybe you leave it in and you bathe in it.
No. He's inept on offense, and yeah. So I mean, their front court just it's this. We saw what happens. Like, okay, maybe it'll work in the regular season. They might be a good regular season team if you want to put them in the top 4 for that reason. Okay, fine. But in the playoffs, I mean, Julius Randle by himself up front.
Well,
against all these teams in the East, when you got Collins and Capella. You got Giannis, Lopez, Middleton, who's got some size. Brooklyn, I guess they can match up well against Brooklyn. Philadelphia, obviously, way too much size. Even Chicago, I mean, like, who matches up with Vucevic?
You're forgetting about Kemba's magic in the Garden. He's going to make a lot of things happen.
You're really counting on that, and I mean, hey, it could happen. We'll see.
Did you watch that UConn run live in the Big East tournament?
Yes, of course. But I mean,
I'm sure anything's possible.
I have a feeling that if we're lucky enough to get 90 people to watch this podcast, and I mean, that is ambitious, I would guess that 50 of them did not watch him in that tournament live.
Wow, that's a good thing. I would go back on like ESPN Classic
and I'm being
UConn. Those are awesome teams. All right, let's roll forward. Let's plow forward. So out of your list, give me your 1 or 2, 3 most improved teams. In terms of wins, I don't want.
I mean, the obvious is Chicago.
No participation trophies.
The obvious is Chicago. That's
I absolutely agree. Matchup wise, it's going to be a terror.
Yeah, they're going to be tough. They're going to be a regular season. They're just going to bring it every night. Different guys to go to. My number 2, again, so much of this depends on health and when the main piece that we love so much comes back. But I do think the Warriors bounce back pretty strong. I like their draft picks. I mean, Kuminga, I know we can't put too much stock in the preseason, but I hadn't seen him much before, and I honestly think he fits better in that role than Andrew Wiggins does. So if Wiggins can accept the bench role, maybe that team could be good. And we got to see the step Wiseman takes too.
Wait, one thing that scares me about them though is that they've been rotating in these young pieces for a couple years now, trying to find an acceptable combo to complement Steph and Draymond and stuff. And like that rotation, well, obviously means they haven't found it, but you're taking like that's time that they haven't gelled together with whatever unit is actually going to make a push, like a deep push and everything, and sustain for a whole year. That worries me that it's just a rotating cast of characters all the time, and that's why the thing that made the Warriors
It
amazing
never works.
What made them amazing was their chemistry and ball movement. So now if they
No,
just
but yeah, I mean, you see that with like so many, like you see that with like that's why the Grizzlies are the Grizzlies because it's like a rotating cast all the time, basically. At the last couple of years, Jaren Jackson out of the lineup. I mean, like insert Kyle Anderson. Like, I mean, it just they're young too, but it's not the best comparison. But it's just an example of you can't really rely on rotating casts.
I mean, I believe in those three more than anyone, but that's a big worry I have. Just like with all these people they're bringing in, a lot of them are young, a lot like super young, with like very limited basketball experience, like overall ever, like Wiseman and Kuminga and stuff. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, no.
You got the Pellies or the Kings on that list?
Next on that list is the Sacramento Kings for me. They got to figure out the guard play, of course.
Just the rotation is what they need to figure out. What's the most optimal lineup, because they're not going to know that Davion Mitchell's the most optimal part of their lineup yet. Although you'd think that like him just like leading them to the summer league title like effortlessly just because he like knows basketball like by far. It's like you need this guy on the court. They'll figure it out by the end of the year. He's going to be in the starting lineup. I just have a hard time believing.
But he's a selfless player, and his basketball IQ. If you can have a guy like that leading your second unit, like that, especially in the regular season, that's the type of stuff that separates a 30-win team from a 45-win team.
Yeah, but
35-win team, that's like a 10-win difference right there, easy, maybe 15.
I wonder. It's interesting. I mean, it's a good argument to make. What is the most optimal starting lineup? Because I don't watch a ton of Kings. I assume Tyrese Halliburton does most of the ball handling. Yeah,
he does a lot. But I mean, him and Fox I think that's a really nice starting backcourt because they can both kind of play on and off. Halliburton more off, but obviously Buddy Hield, he's been there for a while. But it's something you can't. They'd be going really small if they want to try to go Fox, and then again, I have no idea what they're trying to do. And Bagley, you never know with that freaking guy. But if they went Fox, Halliburton, Barnes. Hield and Holmes. And Holmes is already kind of an undersized 5, and I think he's a projected starting 5 based on what I've seen. Like that's pretty small.
Buddy Hield is in your optimal 5 for them?
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying he's been there for a while. They're paying him kind of like Harrison Barnes. He'd be better off the bench coming in with Mitchell because I think that's a nice backcourt off the bench. And then you can insert a better 4, put Barnes at the 3, but
I can't do that. If I can't have Bagley, my optimal 5 has got to be Holmes, Barnes, Halliburton, Mitchell,
Bagley.
No, I mean,
if Bagley's healthy, you want that guy. I mean, he's a walking 2010 when he's on the court.
He's the worst defender ever. You actually can't play defense with him. No, it's like you can't stop people with him.
He gets a couple blocks.
Bro, I've watched him. I watched him at Duke. He's single-handedly, and it's like he left the lineup for a couple of games or whatever, and it's like automatically we played the best defense on earth. He comes back. He doesn't even have like a concept of will or like want. He can't even be trying because it's that like just study basketball or something. Because you're not where you need to be ever. You have no resistance. You provide no resistance at that position. One of my buddies out here is a Kings fan, and like, I mean, if you asked him who he'd want gone first, 100% every Kings fan.
Obviously, if you can turn that guy into an asset, you do it in a second based on his resume. But
I think he's like a Ben Simmons.
If he could I did just see. And again, I'm being an optimist because he's on my fantasy team. I picked him up off waivers though. Wouldn't spend money on him. But anyway, I did just see he did not accept the contract extension offered by the Kings. So he is in a contract year and looking to hit free agency in the summer. So if he's going to play games any year of his career, it's this year. And if he's going to try any year of his career, it's this year.
But the thing is, he's not built to play defense. And if you were him and you wanted to play defense, I think you'd take a lot of.
No, I'm
you
not
take
saying that, but dude, I mean, does
No, you
Julius
take a
Randle
beater.
does Julius Randle play that good at defense? I mean, if you can average 25 and 10, it doesn't matter what your defense looks like.
I think
It's
the
just
result on the court when you watch the two teams play defense is
well, yeah, no, okay, that's disrespectful.
it's just a
Randle,
hole
because he
a
tries a
physical
lot
hole at
harder,
one
but it's
position.
also different teams. Like Thibodeau is defensive minded. You're not going to play on that team if you're not busting your rear end on defense.
Marvin Bagley would not play for.
No, he would not. Not
There's
at all.
no way. He would
No,
never
there's zero
play.
chance. But nonetheless, when healthy in his groove, I think his ceiling is 25 and 10. I think he's capable of it. He hits the corner three. He's got the mid range. He's more 20 and 10. 25 and 10 is very ambitious. He's like
he's
a
like
20-10
Ben
guy.
To me. If you're that big a hole in one area of the game, we can't win no matter what. So like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
we're trying for the first round of the playoffs with you. Like,
Yeah.
there's no moving past that. It's like the CJ Damian backcourt. We can do this forever. It's going to be the same result every time because it doesn't work.
True.
All right.
Sure.
I like those. You have any more most improved? We plucked off.
No. That's it. Sounds like you had the Pellies. If you want to put something in on them real quick, and I don't disagree with you there.
I also have Toronto.
Wild.
Toronto had like 25 wins.
I mean, we could talk about a bunch of those teams that like can't get worse. I was looking.
They had 25 wins last year. You're telling me a starting lineup of
I agree.
Anunoby, like Scotty Barnes mixed in, Siakam, and who was the center we said before? Who was the five?
Precious. Or Precious. I mean, yeah, they have a few guys. But I mean, that you could also say that, the Rockets are going to be better. The Magic are going to be better. Not as drastically, I guess. But, I mean, I don't know. Toronto still has a lot of major injuries. Wizards are going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that lineup has something that other teams don't have. That's like incredible length that like you're putting up there with like Milwaukee and stuff where you create serious problems for the other team. Mm-hmm. And they're like more athletic. Like Chris Middleton can't rival the athleticism of any of those big guys that they have. Maybe Siakam or something. I don't even think so.
Let's not have that be the standard for athleticism. Chris Middleton.
That's a good point. All right, I got the same ones, and then you're so right. And then the Pelicans. I think Devontae Graham is going to – you drafted him in fantasy, right? That's the one you told me about.
I did, yeah. Got him real cheap, and I love it because, I mean, he's probably going to get 35, 40 minutes a game.
And he can be a true point guard. Like if you watched him at Kansas, he can be somebody with a big burden on his shoulders. In the NBA, can he score like that? Can he go out and drop like the same amount, like get to the rack, do all those things on a consistent basis? No. But what he can do is be that leader that gets you into the right offense, make sure the ball's going into Brandon Ingram's hands, making sure Nickeil Alexander-Walker progresses in his career by getting open threes, good shots. They get the ball to Valanciunas to establish the post presence. This team is actually very built to slow it down the half court. Zion, they can run some stuff for, use your athleticism, but offensive rebound like hell.
Yeah.
They do. We don't even need to like we can do some transition, but do we need to? Like this is slow it down. We have really good pieces. If you slow it down, you can actually maximize. I think Brandon Ingram is a top. I don't know what player.
I mean, he's an iso ball guy. We know that. So like he's built for the half court. He's the Anthony